and welcome back. Well, I have finally returned from Paris, and I wanted to share some of the sights that we saw, because if you have not been to Paris, then it'll give you an idea of what to expect. And if you have been to Paris, we found many sights that we had not seen in the past. We have been to Paris, it's either 6 or 7 times. I'll have to look at my journals. I think this might have been the 7th trip, and we wanted to visit all of the places that we have never been to before in the city of Paris. So that was our goal. Of course, you can't miss the Eiffel Tower every time you go. That is the focal point of the city. So you're going to see that in this video. And the reason I'm making this video is because I was editing it for you and decided that I did not have a beginning to it. I just got off the flight, jet lagged, and started videoing, and that doesn't explain enough of what's going on. You will see some scenery in the video that is no explanation needed. You will enjoy it, I hope, and if you do, please leave me a comment and tell me you recognize this spot, or I should have gone around the corner and there's someplace else to shop over there, or I know a great restaurant on that street. I would love to hear from you. When you're visiting Paris, they have some uneven pavement, so it's always a good idea to take comfortable walking shoes and save your dressy shoes for maybe a nice dinner out, or if you're going to a party or a wedding. And the remainder of the time, just wear comfortable shoes. You can lose your mind at one of these markets because the flowers are beautiful, the fruit is so fresh, the vegetables are fresh, there are nice little things to look at, and scarves and berets and all of those fun things. And so take your time and walk through and look at each stall so you can retain that memory, because there's nothing else like it in the world. We walked extensively through the Latin Quarter. If you are not familiar with the Latin Quarter, it's generally in the 5th arrondissement. It is close to all of the universities, and the reason it's called the Latin Quarter is because most of the students many years ago would only converse and learn in Latin. did see Notre Dame Cathedral, and it's still under renovation, and I think they have a while to go. I'm going to guess at least a year. I know a few weeks ago they did have the blessing of the bells, so they have hung the bells again. The sweet little cafes you will see everywhere in the city is the perfect place to sit, have a cup of cappuccino, and people watch. Of course you want to see the Louvre. Now, whether you want to go in and see the entire Louvre is your decision because it is enormous. I know you can find most of the exhibits in the museum online, so that will give you a starting point, and you can find the exact exhibit you want to see first, and then from there you can just wander and see each exhibit individually. And there's some cute cafes outside too. We had a driver who drove us around Paris one evening in a 2CV, which is the tiniest little car, almost like a Volkswagen, or may even be a Volkswagen, but it seemed much smaller, and that was so much fun. A few of our days were with a tour of Paris, the inside of Paris, sights you would never see as a typical tourist. You're going to see all of those cute little manicured courtyards. You're going to visit cafes and see the details of the city that you don't see when you're just walking down the main streets of the tourist areas. So I suggest, if you have been many times, or if this is your first visit, contact European Experiences. I am going to link European Experience in the information box below, and then you can go in, see where they are going next, because they travel most of Europe and take very small groups. You get to know all the people in the group because there are only a handful, and you will certainly enjoy it, and I'm sure you'll make friends that last a lifetime. I am going to put the link for European Experiences in the information box below, because if you have traveled extensively or you have traveled very little, this is a perfect opportunity to use a travel guide who will take you places you would never see on your own. It's more of an immersive experience than it is just catching a flight, going to a city, wandering, and not even knowing what you're seeing. You actually have guides each day who take you to different areas, and you'll see all the beautiful sights that not everybody sees. One of those secret spots we went to was the historic Bagatelle Gardens. Now, the gardens have been there since before Versailles. It was built many, many years ago. It was such a secret garden. The flowers were spectacular. Of course, I try to get in some shopping every day, and I succeeded. Well, one day I went to a vintage shop, and the name of it, let me get this correct, it is Les Folies d'Eugénie, and it is located at 8 Rue Saint-Florentin in Paris. And they specialize in luxury handbags and clothes, and it is one of their shops. They have 4. They have one in Paris, one in Nice, one in Cannes, and one in Geneva. So I will link this information for you as well. They have a website, so you can go online and ask if they have a particular item on hand that you have been looking for. And you know, I'm always searching for particular luxury handbags that I would love to find. And of course, I was unsuccessful on that trip, but I did get a chance to make a connection, so I have another place to continue looking because their inventory turns over rapidly. Museums, museums, museums. I could go in one every day while I am in Europe. Well, some of these have great ideas for decorating. And in this particular museum, I fell in love with the wallpaper. It was unbelievably spectacular. We went to an auction. It is the Drouot auction house, and I may be pronouncing that incorrectly, but I will put this information below for you, because if you're looking for anything is probably going to be up for auction at this auction house. And everything moves quickly, because if you've ever been to an auction, you know everyone has their eye on the particular item that you're looking at, wants it much worse than you do. So they're going to jump in and try to get it, and so you have to be quick on your toes to get the items you're looking for. They had everything from mid-century modern to a cartoon artwork. Unbelievable, and it changes constantly. We're on our way to lunch. We have been wandering through Paris, and now we're starving. I know this restaurant has the best salads and cheese boards, so I think that's what we're planning to order. And then we're going to do some shopping this afternoon. Lunch was fabulous. Now we're going to go shopping, and I'm going to take you with me. We're going to Galeries Lafayette. We are walking through the 4th floor of Galeries Lafayette, and the 4th floor is absolutely nothing but shoes. If you are a shoe lover, this is the place to be. Look at this. Unbelievable. Men's shoes, ladies' shoes, shoes on top of shoes. Fabulous. And anytime I go anywhere out of the country, I have to go to the local grocery. And we went to the grocery probably every day to buy something, whether it was water or just a soft drink, something while we were walking, just to get a peek at all of the products. And I brought a few home. We've already eaten one of these, but I brought 2 more back. This is a chip that it has a bolognese sauce flavor. Delicious. And they have a million flavors of chips. And who would have thought it? It's so, so good. These you will see in a lot of the local bakeries. These are palmiers, and again, I apologize if I'm pronouncing these not quite correctly, but these are croissant crackers. Unbelievably good. We have that, and I'll try to find some to link. I'm not sure if this brand is available in the United States, but if it is, I will try to find it, because I want to know also. Even though I brought them home with me, if I can get them locally, then I know I love these. Tiny mini pizza crackers. I don't know why I bought these, except that I had just not seen these, and I had to try them. Then my husband and I went to tea at the Ritz. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And remember, when you have tea in France, it's all sweets and all pastries and cookies. However, if you go in England or the British colonies, it is sandwiches and pastries or sweets of some sort. But believe me, I'm not going to complain about having only sweets and a glass of champagne. And you know French chefs pride themselves on their work. So we ran across a chef being photographed for a local magazine, and we had to watch that because I loved the way he just worked his way through the kitchen. And I didn't take enough video to show you everything he did. However, he worked his way through the kitchen, and she took shots of each utensil that he was using. It was fascinating. One of the ladies we were talking to said that in Paris, the religion is not found in the church, it's found in the restaurants. And I somehow believe that a bit because every restaurant takes such pride in what they serve. So you want to try at least 3 meals a day at different restaurants. Don't go to the same one twice because there are just too many. You don't want to miss anything. Visit the Pantheon if you have the opportunity. It is a burial place for many notable French people, like Madame Curie and many, many more. One of the things I thought was so charming about visiting was the music installation that they had at the time. And I hope they leave it for a long period of time because it's human voices that sound like chimes. I must show you some things I found at one of Paris' most famous kitchen supply stores. The supply store is I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, Edehillerin. It is at 18 Rue Coquelet, and it is spelled Coquilliere. And I know I'm butchering the French pronunciation of that, but I do want to show you a few things that I did purpose rattling everywhere. This is a whisk. Our tour guide gave us this because she wanted us to remember her, I'm sure. So every time I whisk egg whites, I'm going to remember her. I found something I needed anyway was a honey dipper. Got that. And look at these beautiful bronze or brass skewers for cooking on the grill. I've got the cow, I got 2 cows and 2 chickens. So, for instance, you make kebab, a beef kebab or chicken kebab. How lovely is that? I thought they were so pretty, just for decoration. Whether I use them or not, they will be seen. I thought those were so beautiful, and they had 2 or 3 other animals. I believe they had a goat, and what else would they have? A pig. They had a pig. Now, next door to the kitchen supply shop is a shop that you must stop in. They are known for having any kind of herb or anything you're looking for, salts, specific salts, peppers, and I got granulated maple sugar. Now, there's not a better way to say autumn than put maple sugar in your coffee. So I had to have that. I'm going to put it in our coffee bar. And love, love, love. I got it through customs, no problem. That's one thing that worries me about purchasing items when I am in Europe is I have to remember to have room in my checked luggage because you can't put, say, skewers in your carry-on. They have to go in your checked. And there's some foods that you cannot bring back. Certain meats or unprocessed foods, like some cheeses, things like that. So be very cautious about what you're buying, and check online or check with the person who's selling it to you and ask if you can take this out of the country, because you don't want to purchase something and not be able to use it. Because I've done that. I have bought gourmet mustards and couldn't bring them back for some reason or another, and it wasn't in France, it was in another country. And so I was so disappointed, and I told the person at the counter that it was their lucky day. They got my gourmet mustard, so I hope they enjoyed it. Good morning. We are at the Charles de Gaulle Airport, and guess what? We arrived as early as possible for our flight, and it's been delayed. So I think I'm going to be forced to do some duty-free shopping. But you know what? Somebody has to do it. Next to the Air France Lounge, you will conveniently find Hermes and Tiffany and Celine and Prada. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this visit to Paris with us, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, tap that subscribe button, and don't forget, you can always follow me on Instagram. Bye.